Welcome to Successful Living with Bill Napick. Every week we talk about success and everything that goes along with it. You'll learn the principles of success, how to achieve success, and learn to overcome challenges that may be getting in the way of success in your life. You'll hear from Bill Napick, a radio personality and business development expert, along with insight from special guests. If you're ready to find your path to success or take the success you're enjoying to the next level, stay tuned. Successful Living with Bill Napick is on right now.
And welcome to the show, Successful Living with Bill Napick. I am Bill Napick, and Successful Living today with two incredible people. First of all, our sponsor, Brett Hatfield with Down Under Pools. Welcome to the show, Brett.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Thanks a lot for having me.
And let's tell people about the very, very special guest that we have right now. Tell them.
Hey, man, we're getting a little bit ahead of the game here, but we want to sit down and let everybody know we have a Grammy Award winner, Bill Champlin from Chicago. Had been with Chicago for 29 years. It's just an absolutely amazing guy. We've hosted Bill out here previously at another event, and we have him performing live on stage with his wife Tamara at Cane Island on Saturday, November the 19th. Only a little over a week or so away.
It's going to be very exciting. Well, welcome to the show, Bill.
Hey, guys, what you up to?
Well, we're just doing a little radio show here, and it's so exciting to talk with you.
Cool. Well, it's great to talk to you. Tamara and I are in the process right now of just driving from Santa Barbara to Los Angeles, having played, believe it or not, a successful show for a benefit last night in Santa Barbara. We had a ball, had a great time. Different musicians. Tata Vega was singing with us. Amy Holland was singing with us. Mrs. Michael McDonald, and we had a ball last night.
That's cool. So do you, Bill, do you get to play much with Michael McDonald?
I haven't seen Michael's been so busy these days. I haven't seen him too often, but whenever we do get together, we usually tear the place apart.
Everybody out here is so excited to have you and Tamara out here at Cane Island, and trying to give everybody a little bit of an idea of. I know that you have such an amazing body of work, which goes back before the Chicago days, and that is with Sons of Champlin.
Yeah, well, the Sons actually we still play occasionally. I did the Chicago gig from 1981 to 2009, so there's a handful of songs there that I sang on that I'll probably be performing. What's kind of cool about this is it's just like a piano and a microphone, or a couple of microphones, and we do some different pieces of music. Tamara and I are doing effects. There's one that I had out on it was actually a song that Tamara wrote that we had out with Brenda Russell and I on a Tom Scott record quite a few years back. It was a pretty big record. And then another one that actually me and Patti LaBelle did a duet for the Miami Vice TV show. It was a really gorgeous song. So we're rehearsing and getting that one together and making it nice. Handful of Chicago songs that I was involved in. So it should be really fun. It's great. We don't do these very often, but a lot of people really like them because you can really hear the song, and it's just like you don't have to try to hear it over a horn section and drummer. You know what I mean?
Well, Bill, I've known you for quite a long while, and I really appreciate you doing this for us. But I kind of go back. A lot of people don't realize just how extensive your songwriting and what your relationship to the music industry has been, and it's far more extensive than what anybody, I think, really knows. Sadly, so if I could indulge you just for a second, you wrote hits not only for George Benson but for Richard Marx, Earth, Wind and Fire.
I don't think I wrote one for Richard. I did some singing and playing on some of Richard's records. He's a good pal, but I don't think I didn't do any writing for Richard though. The thing is that when I was working, as much as I was working earlier on in the day back in the day, was when all these records were being made. So I would just I'd go in and as a background singer and sing oohs and ahs or sing whatever, and then talk to the producer, and he'd say, well, we need a song kind of like this. I said, great, well, I'll come back tomorrow. And walk in and bring a song in, and that's how I'd get a lot of placements. So I ended up getting, 70 or 80 tunes on record during that period of time.
And also, I want to tell people as they're listening, in case they're near their computer, they can go to your website, Bill, and that is Bill Champlin, CHAMPLIN.net. And as I'm looking at the Wikipedia...
Actually, .com. I think we've changed
Oh,
it
is
over
it?
to
Okay.
.com.
That's
yeah,
okay.
BillChamplin.com.
.com.
And then there's all the Facebook. There's Bill Champlin on Facebook, and there's Tamara Champlin on Facebook. Tamara's done a whole lot of stuff too.
Really?
So she's written for Paul Rogers and different people. She's been actually she wrote for me and Brenda to do a song on Tom's record a few years back, and some stuff with Chicago. She co-wrote a tune on one of the Chicago Christmas records with me. So she's slamming too, and she's one of the best singers on the earth. So come on by. I mean, and actually she was raised in the Houston area. Got thrown out of different high schools in the Houston area.
But, on the Wikipedia site, Bill, something that really speaks to me, all the groups you've played with and influenced, I have been a huge fan. And also, where it says your website here, it has notable instruments, Hammond organ. And I play the Hammond B3 for many years. It's awesome. Just that particular instrument. And, of course, you're versed in the piano, vocals, guitar. But that Hammond organ, there's something about that, Bill.
Well, I'm kind of probably known as a player, probably known for being a Hammond player more so than about anything else at this stage of the game. I'm known for vocals and Hammond.
That is terrific. Kind of dialing back your career, but tell us a little bit about, in case people are listening or they have children that show a musical inclination, go back to kind of the very beginning, if you would, and share with us some of the things about how you were drawn to music as a child and how it kind of took hold in those early stages, if you would.
Well, I mean, my mother was a pretty serious songwriter and piano player and singer when she was younger. She didn't do very much with it professionally, but she did earlier on before she met my dad. And so I was taking piano lessons before I was even in school. I was in like preschool or something. And so that's kind of basically what got me started. I was actually reading music before I was reading English at some level. So that kind of, I mean, I wish I could read music as well now as I did then, but so that's kind of the situation. I mean, I just started doing it when I was really young, and I never really changed up. I just kept doing it. At some point, I think between the age of 5 and 10, I decided that I'd like to be maybe either a cowboy or a fireman or something that most kids between the age of 5 and 10 want to be. You know what I mean? But and then I started getting into guitar. So I've kind of sort of generally when I play live and stuff like that, I usually go back and forth between guitar and actually organ, more so than even piano.
So, Bill, my curiosity is, over the years, and I know this is probably a really difficult question, and you wouldn't want to single anybody out in particular, but over the years, who do you feel was probably one of the most exciting people to work with, and one of the most creative?
Well, I worked a lot with David Foster on a lot of different records. David Foster, Jay Graydon, and Foster kind of goes without saying. I mean, he's produced so many things. I was one of the first artists that he produced, and during that period of time, we wrote a song for me on my first solo album that we ended up giving to Maurice White from Earth, Wind and Fire. We didn't give it to him, but we allowed them to release it as opposed to me releasing it. And it was After the Love Is Gone. So I mean, whenever I work with David, it was always really very, very musical, and that was always, I always felt like I was in good company there. And then I worked with Jay Graydon a lot, and doing songwriting and stuff like that. And actually, Jay and I and Steve Lukather, who's the guitar player and the leader of Toto, who's just a monster. Well, the three of us wrote that. Turn Your Love Around for George Benson, and on both of those songs that I just mentioned are Grammy Award winning tunes. So it was kind of a cool time. And at that time there was, really musical was what people were looking for, what producers were looking for. And so I got really lucky and got a lot of calls because of that, because I could walk in and arrange on the spot.
I know you've been pretty close with Steve Lukather over the years.
I usually hang with him, whenever there's time. But he's busier than a bee. I mean, he's got Toto when they're out, and then he actually plays with Ringo Starr when Ringo goes out.
Wow.
So Steve's usually most of the time on the road. I think he's got a hotel basically surgically implanted to his butt.
So, if you get an opportunity, do you like to collaborate with him?
Not very often. You know who? I mean, he's just so busy these days. But who I do collaborate with a lot is the singer in Toto, Joseph Williams, who's actually the son of John Williams, the composer for Star Wars and all those.
Oh, wow.
Millions, almost every Spielberg movie that's out, they use John Williams.
Wow.
And you know, he's probably one of the best film composers ever. And Joe's got that in his DNA, so we always have a ball arranging stuff, putting stuff together. We have a band, basically, it's CWF, which is Champlin, Williams, and Fristedt. And Fristedt is Peter Fristedt from Sweden. He's a guitar player, and a record songwriter, guitar player, and record producer. And he really does well in Sweden. So we actually go. I mean, matter of fact, we're going over there, and Tamara and I are going over to do some shows with Joe and me and Peter and a handful of players.
So, Bill, I know that you're massively popular in Europe.
Well, I don't know about massive, but you know, we enough to go over and play occasionally.
That's cool. So, do you are you doing tours over there? And if so,
Yeah.
you know, what areas does that encompass?
Well, usually it kind of leans towards Scandinavia. I mean, Sweden and Norway, Denmark, that area up there seems to be. They got, you know, there's a lot of people that kind of got into my solo albums when I was putting them out, basically pretty much the 80s and 90s, actually even in the 70s. The first couple of David Foster records were real popular over there that David produced for me. So, and you know, they consider the Runaway album one of those, you know, desert island records. You're going to have 10 records on a desert island. What would they be? You know, and that in Sweden, a lot of people would say that one for sure. You know.
Very cool.
And that's always a great question. Also, Bill, tell people, as far as Chicago, share some of a story or two or your experiences with the group Chicago, if you would, please.
Oh, you know, it's in, I can't remember when it was. It was the We the People concert in Philadelphia. Remember that?
Yeah.
I think it was the couple of 100th anniversary of the Constitution. And there was over 500,000 people at that gig. I think it was in 1986 or 87, and that was insane. That was just crazy. I remember playing Houston Astrodome and my monitors went out, and there was just nothing but an echo. When we walked in, we'd played it a year before, and there were still some of the notes we played a year before still hanging around the ceiling.
That's interesting because they've been trying to figure out what to do with the Astrodome here recently. It's been such a historic landmark, but it's in shambles.
The pyramid that they built for the basketball team in Memphis? Years ago, there was just this giant pyramid in Memphis. And,
pyramid, yeah.
Wow, now it's a Bass Pro Shop. So maybe they can make a Bass Pro Shop out of the Houston Astrodome. Wow, you can find a whole lot of stink bait there. You know what I mean?
Well, very interesting. Hey, well, also, let's remind people again, as we're progressing through the interview, let's tell people again, Brett, the date. It's coming up on Saturday where people can see Bill. And what about tickets? It's free, right?
It's free.
That is incredible.
Absolutely free. Yep. Dan Naif, the owner of Cane Island, and myself are putting this on and to help promote the estate. And it is totally 100% free. You need to get out there early. Get out there kind of at 6 p.m. range. There is parking. There is no valet parking. We will have facilities and golf carts to ferry you to and from the facility to your car. The event is on Saturday, November the 19th. Please come out. You can actually go to my website, which is www.downunderpools.com. That's DOWNUNDAPOOLS.com. And if there is a link right on the homepage there, you click on that and just register. It's not an absolute prerequisite. We're trying to keep an eye on our numbers. We want as many people out there as we can possibly get. You need to come on out. We will also have on display and in the area, in the grassed area where Bill will be performing, we're going to have a display of Ferraris and some Lamborghinis, some exotic cars, lots of stuff going on.
That's the one I get to drive, right?
That is the
Exactly.
one you get to drive. We're going to bring you in.
Camera wants the Lamborghini. I'll take the Ferrari.
There you
We're
go.
okay?
We're going to have you arrive and go on stage stepping out of a Lambo, man.
Put the piano. We're going to put the keyboard in the Ferrari. Sorry, Brett. I'm not leaving this position.
You're going to love this place, Bill. You're going to love Cane Island. And also, one of the unique things about Cane Island, you'll probably meet their mascot, and that is a golden retriever, and his name is Hub. So he probably will hand you the key to Cane Island or something like that.
And the Lambo.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Well, you're talking to, if you're talking to me and Tam, you're talking to dog people. There's no question about it.
you're going to enjoy it. Also, Bill, tell people this is going to be a great event, and we're getting the word out, and we may even repeat this show several times before that event. However, let's tell people too what you're doing on the website. It looks like you have some incredible things that go beyond what's going to happen here in a couple weeks. But give people an idea how 2017 is looking for you and your wife and your music.
I'm doing some writing. They're it's sort of like Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. There's this sort of a writing thing where you have 4 writers, and each one sings one of their songs, and then passes the baton to the next guy. I'm doing a few of those in March in Atlanta and in Savannah. Well, I think the first one's not actually Atlanta. It's a suburb of Atlanta somewhere. And I forget the name of the. Hey, I'm a member of CRS. Can't remember. Well, you can finish it out, the rest of it. But I'm doing a few of those things. Then we're going to go to Sweden for some stuff. I'm going to go. Oh, we're actually we're going to do the national anthem at the Raiders game on the 27th of this month, and then New Year's Eve we're playing in a city called Vallejo, which is very close to Oakland and very close to Marin County, and very close to Napa, the wine country up there. We're doing a New Year's Eve gig with the Suns, and that should be really, really fun. We're looking forward to that. It's going to be a ball.
Excellent. Bill, also, as a songwriter, give people an idea, if you were to give advice to someone that has inspiration, or is there a process that you have used through these years in terms of getting an idea and putting it together?
Everybody has a different way of writing songs. I mean, a lot of times when I write with Tamara, she'll have a vocal or like a lyric idea right off the bat, and then she'll usually come up with some kind of melody with it. We'll try to figure out how to lay it into a guitar or a piano and see how it's going to fit on top of it. So that's kind of been the process we've been writing with lately, because we've been writing together a lot. Mostly, it's a project we've been working on with a friend of mine named Gary Falcone, and we're pretty much done. I think we're done with the writing and most of the recording part of the album. We're just making albums. I know it's a weird time for the music business, but I mean, if you have an album inside of you, do whatever you can to try to get it out on, get it on tape. He says tape. Get it in, Pro Tools or Logic.
You're dating yourself a little bit there, man.
GarageBand.
The old reel-to-reel.
I'm going to use the GarageBand.
GarageBand is a lot of records are made on GarageBand. Who knew?
I guess along that theme, though, let me ask one more question about songwriting. And it differs, I know, but has it been where the words come first and then you put the music, or vice versa, or just?
Well, usually when I write, it's usually the music first, and then I'll drop in lyrics. I'll have the melody all locked in. But like I say, lately it's been lyrics first. I know Tom Kelly was telling me Kelly and Steinberg was a really great writing team. They wrote True Colors and. Like a Virgin and Fire and Ice, and a handful of really, really big songs. And I think a good portion of those, they usually go with lyrics first, and then Tom kind of gets on a piano and figures a way to kind of sink the lyrics down into some kind of pop music thing. And they were very successful at it for a good little while. True Colors was the theme for Kodak back when film was really going on big time. I think digital's kind of taken over the whole camera scene, but at least for a while there, you think that made him a buck or two?
Yeah,
I know. Somebody told me, he said, "Well, Tom, what's Tom Kelly up to?" He said, "Well, he's got a golf course surgically implanted to the bottom of his feet."
So, Bill, man,
Awesome.
the music industry has changed, and arguably for better or for worse. And it's interesting now that where do you go to listen to new material? So, when it comes to promoting a new album, you and Tamara and all your collaborations with material that's coming out. So, where do people go to get a first hand listen to that, and how can they get it?
Well, it's kind of weird. A lot of people seem to be doing it in Europe. There's numerous record companies that are popping up in Europe and in Japan. Both of those areas seem to be. I know with the last CWF album, it was kind of produced in California and in Stockholm. But I think the record company that put it out was based in Germany, and then we put it out on Pony Canyon in Japan. That doesn't. It's kind of hard to find it here in the States unless you go to Amazon.com, and that usually means there's a big price tag on it.
Right.
But it's really kind of. I mean, nobody can quite figure out how to get anything out there. There's no place for retail. Retail, it's usually going to be Lady Gaga, Katy Perry.
Right.
Just the big timers, and they kind of own it at this point of the game. So it's kind of weird. It doesn't seem to. The baton doesn't get passed too quickly, So I mean, there's success, but it's for a fewer amount of artists than there used to be.
Do you think there's room for an entrepreneurial spirit there in the music industry to start to create a pretty new platform?
Figure out a model, believe me, everybody's thinking about it, trying to figure a way to actually cash in or actually to make money off of it. I know that all the services, the Spotify's and Pandora's and everything, there's very little money going to the artists, which is surprising.
Sad.
Mostly to the record company and to the Spotify and the Pandora themselves. I think somebody was telling me Lady Antebellum had 72 million streams, and the artists or the writers were splitting $6,000. It was like, whoa, that would have been their royalties would have been delivered in semi trucks,
Right.
Last minute, let's tell people what else you'd like them to know, please.
Well, I'd like everybody to know that we're going to be out there singing and having a ball out there at Canes Island out there. It's going to be fun. Usually at this point of the game, we're just looking at what's next. Today I'm going to sing a lead vocal for a German artist that wants me to work for him. And, stuff just pops up here and there. At least for me, it just kind of pops up occasionally. And, like last week, Tamara and I went in and did a background vocal on an artist that nobody knows about, who's probably as good as Don Fagen and Walter Becker. Guy's an amazing songwriter. And just, every once in a while you just see something come by. It's like, so good, such good music. And occasionally I'm lucky enough to be involved in singing on it or playing on it. Or it's always a kick for me to go into a studio and come out just going, wow, that was great music. That stuff's really happening. So I think anybody who puts out a record at this point in the game, they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it for the love.
Cool. So, man, we need to wrap this up. We'd run out of time here. Hey, Bill, I gotta just thank you so much for doing this for us. I know it was really short notice for you. Extremely, really appreciate it. Can't wait to see you here on the 19th out there at Cane Island on Saturday, November the 19th. And Bill Napick, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Brett. Ladies and gentlemen, and go to BillChamplin.com. And we'll see Bill coming up on the 19th. Thank you so much, Bill.
Very cool, Bill. It's good to talk to you guys. Brett, I'll call you in a minute.
Okay.
In a little bit.
Cheers. Thanks, man.
All righty. You've been listening to Successful Living with Bill, Brett, and Bill on this edition. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Down Under Pools can help make your backyard a focal point for luxury outdoor living. Imagine coming home from a hard day's work and enjoying the evening in a spa-like environment with pool, water features, and lighting integrated seamlessly into your home and landscaping design. Down Under's design team has a seasoned eye for color, scale, proportion, and detail. Even more important is Down Under's commitment to the highest quality construction practices to achieve the highest standards of hydraulic and structural integrity. Down Under is one of the most creative and trusted pool and landscape builders in Houston because of their award-winning design and construction and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Visit downunderpools.com to see examples of what could be in your backyard. That's DOWNUNDA pools.com. Down Under. Pools for the mind, body, and soul.